3D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shouts out to the early birds. I'm going to make this brief, starting with dun, dun, dun. F2, what up? Byron, that's actually FU2. Byron McCall, what's up? Broski. RIH, Mo3. Yeah, absolutely. Corey Calhoun. Brown Sugar, what's up? What's up, Brown Sugar? Rider ABC 187, what's up? Is that Quita B? The kid, Eric Miner. What it do? V. Smith. I see Long Island in the building. Island Rifter. T.O. is not showing his charges online. Sagittarius Q, we'll get to that. Brother Man, Harlem, what's up? I see Alicia Smith. Who is that? Kevin? Catrell Bolden. Deep East Texas. What's up? What's up? All right, fam, I'm going in. Let me put up a pic of my subject. On the left is Yella Beezy. On the right is Mo3, the man who he is accused of murdering. So let's get into the story. Yella Beezy is in police custody in Texas, where he's been arrested and hit with capital murder charge in the death of rapper Mo3. The rapper was busted in Dallas earlier, in the Dallas area on Thursday, where he currently is in jail. According to court documents, Yella is accused of intentionally and knowingly causing the death of Melvin Noble, aka Mo3, on November 11, 2020. We man, that time fly. You know, it seemed like that happened just a couple years ago, but man, yeah. The charges documents accuse Yella of employing a man named Kwan White to murder Mo3 on a Texas interstate by using a firearm. So that is not Yella Beezy, according to the prosecutors. That is not Mo Beezy in the picture with the mask on firing at Mo3. That is Kwan White, a guy who they says was hired to murder Mo3 on a Texas interstate by using a firearm. This is a developing story. So as I get information, I'll share it with you guys. Some information. It's a quick update right here, just really quick update, is something that Mo3's mom posted. Nicole Williams Noble said, "Justice for my baby." She just posted that minutes ago. Justice for my baby. So we don't know what the facts are, fam. We only know what the allegations are, right? We only know what the allegations are. So, on one hand, you do want justice for Mo3. You do want, justice for the guy. But at the same time, you don't want to just believe anything that you hear, because a lot of people say a lot of things and it don't make it true. Even if the FBI, even if law enforcement says it, because the trip part about it is this. Watch this, y'all. We, in general, do not trust law enforcement. Overall, most people in America do not trust law. They do not trust law enforcement. We know that there are members of law enforcement who takes a dump on the badge every day. We know they don't care. We know that there are people who sign up to become members of law enforcement just so that they can commit crimes and get away. We know that for a fact. We know that they plant evidence. We know that they frame people. We know that they railroad people. We know that once they get them into the system, we know that the system railroads people. So, I say, until we get some real evidence, I would say take this with a grain of salt. If Yella Beezy is responsible for this man's death, then absolutely he should pay. But I just want to remind everybody to, just not rush to judgment, man, because, we have a tendency to not to believe these people until they arrest somebody that we don't like. You know what I'm saying? Until they knock somebody down that we don't like. And then we just take whatever they say, we just take their word for it. So, like I said, if, he is indeed, guilty of murdering Mo3, then, he get what he get, and that's damn sure is unfortunate, because it just seemed like to me, these damn rappers are afraid of freedom. It's like a lot of these rappers, they just seem like they're afraid of freedom. Like, man, I'm free, man. I don't like being free. I need to do something to get me a gang of ears, man. I need to go to jail. I need to see what that's like. Well, I already been to jail. Well, I want to go back, man, because I miss it. It's like, what kind of conversations are they having with themselves? And it's double sad when these guys have carved out a career for themselves. I'm talking about the ones who really done something. They've carved out a career for themselves. They beat the odds. Since when has beating the odds not been good enough? You beat the odds, brother. You really want to try that again? Let me take him off the screen for. Let me take Mo3 off the screen for a minute, fam. Because I need y'all to see my face on this. I wouldn't want to relive my life. I wouldn't want to go back and do this all over again. I would not want to do it, because I'm not guaranteed to survive. Man, if I would have turned left instead of right, if I would have waited a little longer, or left a little sooner, arrived early, or a little later, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I was out there. I was in them streets, got caught up a few times, but I'm talking about getting caught up where you couldn't come back, like that, where something could have happened where you couldn't come back from. And the true part about it is, when you come from the streets, and all you guys from the streets can vouch for this, if you're from the streets, you can definitely vouch for what I'm saying. When you get to the money, it don't automatically mean you're going to just shut off the foolishness, because you've been hardwired, conditioned to be a certain way for so long that you have to recondition, reprogram yourself. Your mind has to hit a reset button, because you got to be programmed, just like you was brainwashed to handle conflict with fists, guns, and insults. Like he was brainwashed to, go come back with it, make that fast buck, everything fast. You got to be pretty much brainwashed, programmed to be a different way, to be patient, to not be so damn hot-headed, not be so easily triggered, not allow a sucker who ain't got no life, ain't got nothing going on, to play you out of your position. That takes time. I was one of the lucky ones, but most dudes who play that game ain't gonna be that lucky. And that's what they ain't telling you in the music. That's what they're not telling you in the streets. They're not telling you that on these podcasts. Most dudes that jump out there and do that, they're not gonna be that lucky. So yeah, it's a lot of it has to do with luck. A lot of it has to do with your will to survive. And a whole lot of it has to do with favor. Favor, man. I know I couldn't have done it by myself. I know for a fact I couldn't have done it by myself. But you got to have it. You got to want it. You got to be cool with not going to that spot, not going over there, and not hanging out with those dudes, not jumping in that car, or letting your partner, even though you've been knowing him since y'all was in kindergarten, hop in your car, because he living a certain type of life, and you don't want to get caught up with that. Now, if you want to volunteer, if you want to get caught up in it, then you step into it. That's different. But you don't want to get caught up in something you wasn't trying to get caught up in. You dig what I'm saying? So it takes a lot, just to manage, that upbringing, that anger, that it takes a lot to just manage it. And I ain't saying it necessarily ever just goes away completely. It's always there, I think. I think it's always dormant. You know what I'm saying? It's there. It's lingering in the cut. And, that's why you have to be proactive about not letting these suckers trick you out of your position. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of these youngsters, I don't know who they watching. I don't know who they listening to. I know who some of them listen to. But, man, you better find another role model. I'm telling you. Better find another role model. Or look to yourself and be the example of what you want to be. Because I swear a lot of these dudes is moving like they don't like freedom. Somebody asked, What? Why was you so slow to? Somebody asked, why was I so slow to cover the Big U situation that happened yesterday? You know, it just happened yesterday. I covered it this morning. I was in the, I was trying to get back to Houston. I was at the airport when this went down, when the news broke. So I was out of pocket. You know, sometimes when I'm you know, away from my devices, or I can't really, not devices, but when I'm not in a comfortable spot, sometimes I can still go live or whatever, but I was all the way out of pocket at that moment. So that's why I covered that Big U thing this morning. But having said all that, fam, I don't know. I don't know Yella Beezy, but as I said, even with Big U, you know, like I don't know him like that, but I do hope that that dude didn't get caught up in that. I do say that I still hope that that man is not caught up in that. I hope that he is not caught up in that, because that is something serious, especially for a guy with the type of influence that he have and the level of success he's reached. He's one of those guys. Yella Beezy is one of those guys who we can look at, who youngsters can look at and inspire to be like, say, man, he come from where I come from. If he made it, I can make it. But what does that do to a youngster when they see somebody like Yella Beezy make it? He get out and he ends up right back in the same cell with one of them. He ends up right back where he started. He get all the way up there and he ends up right back where he started. This is if we are to believe these charges, you know, this is if we are to believe these charges. And what does it say when somebody like Mo3 make it? Mo3 was dope. Dope. So what does it say when somebody like Mo3 make it and get gunned down like a dog in the streets? On his way, reportedly, to go film a movie. What does it say when somebody like that, who made it out, made a name for himself, was on the rise? He was getting to the paper. He was on the rise. So what does that say to the youngster that's in the same position? Damn. Mo3 made it out, and he still got killed. Let's go to one of my favorites, Tupac. What does that say to the youngsters when somebody like Tupac can get murdered? Somebody with all that talent, all of that charisma. What does that say to the youngster? Because there used to be a time when once you made it out, you was out unless you wanted to go back. Once you was out, you was out. And you know, maybe you end up back in the hood if you went broke. But you didn't end up in a mortuary. Once you escaped the wrath of the streets, you were out. What does that say when they see somebody like Biggie get gunned down? Biggie, I ain't no Pac, but I knew Biggie. Biggie was a good dude. Biggie wasn't trying to get into no drama. Biggie wasn't trying to kill nothing. Not the Biggie that I know. You know, that ain't the Biggie I knew. So maybe somebody knew a different side of Biggie, but the Biggie I knew wasn't trying to kill nothing. The Biggie I knew was just getting money and having fun and loving on his family and loving on his kids. You know, that's it. You know, and making music. to see that dude get gunned down, to watch it play out on television. What does that say to the youngsters? Damn, even if I get out, they still might get me. And Nip. You know what I'm talking about? Nip. Nip was the last person I thought would be killed. He was the last person I thought somebody would kill. Like, Nip was a builder, not a destroyer. You know, good dude, good family man, good brother, son, from what I understand. And boom. If I call Nip, it didn't matter what he was doing, even as he got big, it didn't matter what he was doing, whether he had a small contract or a big contract, little money or big money. If I called Nip, and Nip ascension to the top happened like it didn't happen overnight, but it was like overnight to me because I met him when he was on the cusp of stardom. So, but when I met him, if I ever called him, if he missed the call, he always hit me right back. Or he'll send me a text message and be like, yo, I hit you right back, OG. And then a few minutes later, as soon as he free up, yo, what's up, OG? Consistent, solid. So when youngsters see that happen, what does that say? Yeah. Lawrence Strickland says, we are our own worst enemy. Lawrence, no disrespect, but that is a lie. When you say things like we are our own worst enemy, you give people who prey on us a way out. You give them an excuse for their actions. You give them an opportunity to escape accountability. No, we are not our own worst enemy. We are far from our own worst enemy. We ain't never did the things to each other that has been done to us in this country. We ain't even never had the power to do that. So we are far, I mean a motherfucking miles far from being our worst enemy. Collective tribal consciousness, what's up? G minor, what it do? Deacon Bernays. What's up, Kevin Spencer? Gus Gordon. Tariq Bay, what up? What's up, Sean Williams? Steve Wren. Midlifer says, nobody taught me to be against another brother. You sure about that? Somebody don't know their history. What's good, butter? Eden Marlette. You know, I got to remember that some people on this internet are on medication. And many others need to be on medication. So I got to, And y'all remember that too, fam. The next time, you know, somebody say something way off to you, that make you want to just trip. Don't even trip, man. Just, if you want to address it. But no matter what you do, keep moving. Don't try to change their mind. Just keep on moving. Just keep it moving. Because DC, what up? Is that, how do you say that? Is that Delia Belton? What's up? Alexander Pierce. JSR says, F these young ends, nothing but devils. F these young ends, nothing but devils. I ain't gonna say ends, but I know what you're talking about. But just remember that no matter what you think of these so-called young ends, they are the future. They might be in charge of your health care one day. They might be in charge of your movement one day. You want them to be stable and able-minded, or you want them to be bitter and angry at people that's around your age and disrespectful. Y'all better get off that hating the youngsters thing, man. Y'all better get off that. Y'all better get off that hating this generation thing. Y'all got to keep in mind, you hate the generation so badly, you got to keep in mind, all these people that's talking about this generation is lost. Well, who lost them? I submit to you that the generations before them lost them, if they're lost. And if you lose something, typically you would like to find it. So if you lose your car keys, you ain't gonna find your car keys complaining. You ain't gonna find your car keys. Where the motherfucking car keys? A big ass car keys. I lost them motherfuckers again. Goddamn car keys. No, you're gonna find those damn car keys by thinking. You're gonna start trying to backtrack. Man, what did I do? Where was I? Where do I remember having those keys at last? Where did I go to? First of all, where do I normally store my car keys? Okay, they're not there. I check those places. What are some secondary places that I might keep my car keys? What was I wearing? Let me check my pockets. You're gonna try to come up with some type of solution to the problem, because anybody can complain. We all have a right to complain about something, especially if we feel that we've been done wrong. You have a right to complain, but after you complain, you got to do something about it, because complaining alone has never solved anything. So everybody got a right to complain if they want to complain about something. If you feel like you've been wronged, or if you feel like something is wrong, you got a right to complain. But after you complain, what you gonna do? You got to do something about it. And all you older people that's always talking down on the youth, you are the problem. You got to keep in mind, some of y'all think you think like individuals, just strictly, you got an individual mentality. Well, I'm good. As long as I'm good, everything ought to be good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If such and such ain't doing what they're supposed to do, that's their problem. No, that becomes your problem. Just like if black people ain't doing good in this country, it's also the problem of other people in this country. Because guess what you're going to have? You're going to have people that's angry. You're going to have people that want to go out and get it by any means. Now, all that sounds good. Yeah, they're going to get locked up too. Yeah, okay, yeah, they're going to get locked up after how many people they kill? After how many people they rob at gunpoint? If look, fam, you can be the most selfish person in the world. You can be, let's break it down to this country. You can be the most selfish person in this country. It would behoove you to look out for your neighbor. Because if your neighbor get robbed and you don't do anything about it, if you're not looking out for your neighbor, if you see your neighbor get robbed and you don't do anything about it, you ain't trying to get a license plate. You ain't pulling out the 4.5 and busting at them fools for trying to rob your neighbor's house or something. If you ain't doing nothing, you ain't trying to call the police. You ain't trying to warn let your neighbor know what's going on, what you see. You ain't doing nothing. You just watching. As long as they don't mess with me, I got that thing. I'm ready. You next. With that thing on you or not, you next. And you gonna get tested. Because you know what I know about criminals? They know that if it's sweet right here, then they're going to catch the next thing in closest proximity. That's how it go. So if they hit your neighbor, you next. My bad, fam. I'm tripping. The volume was down. My bad. Getting back to it. Let me see. Where did I stop at? I think I was talking about this guy, this video. I was talking about this video that I saw of these people online bragging about this youngster who was a shooter. I think he was from Chicago. The dude was from Chicago. Y'all probably seen the video. It's viral. It's a youngster who was a shooter in Chicago, and he was really, really hot-headed. And these guys, it was several guys bragging on this guy about how this guy had a quick temper, and he was really hot-headed, and he'll shoot you in a heartbeat. He wasn't no fighter. He was a shooter. So one of the stories they told is about this guy shooting. Some dude was hanging out with him. He shot at the dude, and he hit him in the chin. The dude took off running, and he escaped. Another shooting is when he walked up to one guy and said, "Man, I heard you was talking about, you've been trying to talk to my girl." And he said, "Man, I ain't trying to talk to your girl, man. That's you better go talk to such, such, such." So he goes over and talked to the other guy and asks him about it. The other guy goes, "Man, don't be fronting me about no hoe, woo, woo, woo." And he pulls out the gun and down the dude. And they're in the comments praising him, laughing. Yeah, he real, man. That's what I'm talking about. He was a real one, man. That boy, that was a killer. That boy was a damn fool. He threw his whole life away. He was a damn fool. You out here praising people who getting themselves killed or going to prison for a gang of years, being removed from their family, being removed from their children, being removed from life, and going to be put in a mortuary with a wire net cut in their chest, getting put in the ground or in an urn, being put in a cage for 40, 50, 60 years. They go in and too young to have a driver's license. They come out, if they come out, they're a senior citizen on Medicaid. What's real is, man, taking care of your family, raising your own children. That's real. Not letting another man do it. Raising your own children. That's real. Being a builder, not a destroyer. Building your community up, not tearing it down. That's real. Acing that test that you studied for. That's real. Talking a friend off the ledge. You got a friend that's about to crash out. You don't let them crash out. You talk them off the ledge. That's a real friend. He getting ready to go do some crash dummy stuff. You don't be like, "Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's." No. Hold on, bro. You sure you want to do that? You sure? Okay, let's think this thing all the way through, because you know what you're going to do, but you don't know what the other guy going to do. And you don't know what Johnny Law going to do. That's real. What's real is getting up off your ass and going to get it and coming back with it, your own, not looking at what another dude got and trying to run up on him and take what he got. What's real is looking at what the other guy have and being motivated to get your own, not take his. That's real. We got a whole generation of kids out here that need some new role models. They got a bad idea of what a role model is. Can't find a role model, then look in the mirror. That's real. What's real is not letting one of these suckers trick you out of your position. That's real. What's real is, you know what? You're going to do some dirt. You know what? Let me make sure I keep my family away from this. If I'm going to step out there, let me make sure I do it in a way where I keep my family protected. That's what they say. Don't shit where you lay your head. That's real. What's real is doing what you say you're going to do. Keeping your word. Keep your word. You tell your friend, your brother, your sister, your mama, your daddy, that you're going to do something. Your child, you tell them you're going to do something. I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. Do it. Be consistent. That's real. You tell that kid, your kid, you coming to their birthday, your ass need to be at that birthday. You need to be at that birthday party. I'm coming. You make sure you say you're going to be at that recital. You're supposed to be there. That's real. If nobody else keeps their word, they know daddy going to keep his word. That's real. Now, how many can say that? Keeping your word don't cost you nothing. Part of keeping your word is to not say you're going to do something that you're incapable of doing. Don't over leverage yourself. If you can't do it, say, let me think about it. Or just straight up say, I can't do it. But if you say you're going to do it, do it. Miss Jazzy is in the building. What's up, Miss Jazzy? I got me a troll. Let me disrespect him real quick and then I'll let him go. I ain't gonna never say his name. I'm gonna treat him like his daddy treat him and neglect him. But family, why do we get rid of trolls? Because trolls are hoes, right? They have no purpose. They're useless. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. Their whole hustle is to cause confusion, especially where others gather and they seem to be making progress or they seem to be happy or inspired. The trolls' number one job is to cause confusion and try to bring them down, knock them off their spot, get them off their square. So, in the spirit of putting down an uncivilized mutt, I say to you, adios, you uncivilized mutt. Have a nice trip. See, that was, man, that felt good. Damn, that's kind of like therapy. Yeah, it took me, yeah, that was pretty good. Felt good. Long live King, what did that say? King Tone. Long live King Tone. Cheryl Douglas. What's up, Vic? Vicky Slaughter. News is crazy this week. The news is crazy this week. Yeah, Dynasty says a lot of these young cats out here lost, Willie, and they need guidance. They do. They need real guidance. Now, to get them there, it's going to be twofold. You know, it's not. It's one thing for people to want to help and mentor, right? So you got those who reach out and try to give them the game or whatever. But the biggest responsibility lies within. See, one thing that I noticed early on, the first time I got in a jam and was sent to jail, I learned that the judge don't give a damn about your upbringing. Depending on which skin color is, they might care. But if you black and you do something, they don't care nothing about those sob stories. They don't care nothing about no single parent households, abuse, daddy wasn't there, no food in the house. They don't care if you starve. They don't care about none of that. If you do the crime, you're going to do the time, or you're going to do something. They're going to punish you. Every single time, they're going to punish you. So you ain't going to be able to use those excuses. The best thing to do is don't wear excuse t-shirts. You know, they used to, back in the 80s, there was this brand used to put out excuse t-shirts. For example, if you played, let's say, basketball, if you had a basketball, they would have a basketball shirt, and they would have a shoe slipping off a foot, a graphic of a shoe slipping off, an image of a shoe slipping off a foot. And, you know, the words on the t-shirt will say something like, "My bad, I slipped," you know. Excuse t-shirts for everything, you know, all kinds of different things, excuse t-shirts. So I just promised not to wear excuse t-shirts, not to use excuses, you know, because anybody can come up with an excuse for anything. You can come up with something to blame anybody for. So I just decided, okay, even though I could come up with an excuse, even though I'd rather have reasons than excuses. But even with a reason, it does not give you an excuse to do better or be better. So I just decided, ultimately, no matter what happened in my life, ultimately, it's on me to get it right. Some of us have had friendships that went bad. Some of us have had romantic and intimate relationships that have went bad. And we're quick to blame the other person. And maybe the other person did you wrong. Maybe they did something dirty. But this is how I make sure that I correct my behavior, my part, because everybody play a role. No, even if you get done dirty, you played a role in getting done dirty. Even if that person burnt you, you know what your role is? Messing with them in the first place. So that's how I deal with it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, they did me dirty, but you know what? I shouldn't have been messing with them in the first place. I put it back on me. That way I correct my behavior. But if you don't accept responsibility, if you don't have no accountability for nothing, you just always putting it on somebody else, you ain't gonna never get better. You're never gonna correct problems within, because nothing's ever your fault. I know some people who ain't never apologized for nothing. Nothing is ever their fault. They're never to blame for anything that happens in their life adversely. So they make no corrections because they don't think they have any issues. White boy 9507, what up? The one and only Chip Chip. So everything starts and ends with me. That's how I do it, fam. It starts and ends with me. Making it start and end with you also keeps you sane. It also helps you not to crash out. Put it on yourself. And you'll see how much better you get in making choices. Like the homie Jay always say, every day you wake up, you get two things, a chance and a choice. Every day you wake up, you get a chance and a choice. If you're just not joining, fam, we were talking about Yella Beezy and Mo3. Yella Beezy is being accused of hiring a hitman to kill Mo3. I said Mo3, but to kill Mo3. He's been accused of hiring a hitman to kill Mo3. Yella Beezy is in police custody in Texas, where he's been arrested and hit with a capital murder charge in the death of rapper Mo3. The rapper was busted in Dallas area on Thursday, where he's currently in jail. According to court documents, Yella Beezy is accused of intentionally and knowingly causing the death of Melvin Noble, aka Mo3, on November 11, 2020. The charges documents accuse Yella of employing a man named Kawan White to murder Mo3 on a Texas interstate by using a firearm. Mo3's mother responded with this message. Justice for my baby. So I'm gonna tell you something about that money, fam. Having that money come with responsibility. When you got money, you can get a lot of things done. You can get a lot of things done when you got money. And you can get a lot of things done a lot easier when you got money. So you got to be careful to make sure that you make money, that you don't allow money to make you. Money can be intoxicating, just like alcohol. It can be intoxicating, bro. I truly hope that Yella Beezy is not involved in this case. Again, I don't know Yella Beezy from a hole in the ground, but I do know he is a young, successful hip hop star. And I know that somebody like Yella Beezy can be used to motivate other youngsters to, aspire to do something positive with their life. It would be better if, when all this is said and done, that Yella Beezy had absolutely zero to do with this, and he can go on about his life, and he can continue to inspire other youngsters. The flip side of that coin is, if he is guilty, then it is going to crush a whole lot of youngsters. It's going to mess them up in the head, because, a lot of these youngsters, they're inspired by these dudes. It could mess somebody up in the fact that it could make them go into a depression, to where they, maybe he got a song or something that they like, and it's a song that touched them, and so they love him for making that song. Another kid youngster might make them depressed, and set them off on a really destructive path. Another youngster might decide, that's my guy, and if he's putting hits out on people, I'm gonna put a hit out on somebody, because that's my hero, that's my role model. So I want to be just like him. So I'm hoping for the best. I hope that they do get whoever was involved in the man's death, in killing Mo3. I hope that the family gets justice. I hope that Mo3's mother gets justice. I absolutely hope she gets justice. And if Mo3 is the culprit, then that's what it is. I hope he's not. But if he is, I just want the family to get justice. But let me tell you something about these murder for hires, though. A murder for hire, unless it's coming from like a government involved type agency or whatever, you always stand a chance of it coming back on you. Because a murder for hire is a get out of jail free card for the shooter. If he ever gets in a jam and he need to get out of jail to get his time knocked down, you better believe he's going to give you up. He'll give you up before he do that year in the county. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, he's going to give you up. And then he always has an up on you, because now he knows, and you know what he knows. So you got to always try to fund him. Anytime he have an issue with something financial, he going to put the burden on you. And the moment you say no, he might just decide, he'll give you a warning first that he got something to say. He'll give you a warning first. And then, boom, next thing you know, they got you. Yeah, and it's a big difference. The game is a lot different today. Optimistic, as you said, you can't win with a game full of rats. They have made snitching cool. Like snitches, you know, all on podcasts, and they getting money for make appearances and stuff, and they accepting snitching, like they going paying money to go see snitches. So it's safe to say, bro, like if like right now there's a better incentive to snitch than not snitch. Because it ain't like something is happening to the snitches. The snitches ain't getting their heads knocked off like they used to. The snitches are being celebrated. Man, what you want him to do, man? I ain't doing time for nobody. What you want him to do? I'll snitch too. What you want him to do is what he signed up to do. Whatever he signed up to do. Now, fam, I know a lot of y'all are hot at these youngsters for crashing out and acting stupid. But you got to remember to not use these generalizations, because some of y'all got kids too. And y'all kids ain't crashing out. But when y'all just throw a blanket on the whole generation and say, this generation is cooked, how you think that makes these youngsters who are out here trying feel? And how do you think that it makes the youngster who might be going through it and he trying to figure it out, how do you think it makes him feel? If the older people who know more than me are saying we cooked, well, what kind of incentive do I have to try to do better, to better myself, or to not crash out? So I might as well just go ahead on and crash out because they saying we cooked. So I might as well just go ahead on and go off. We got to be careful how we address these youngsters, man. I ain't saying, cut anybody some slack who don't deserve it. I'm not saying that everybody can be saved, because everybody can't be saved. Some of these youngsters is going to have to get it. They're going to have to get it. Just like some of the older people, just like some people that came up when we came up. Some of them just going to have to get it. They think shit don't stink. So they think white ain't rice. They think rice ain't white. So they're going to have to get it. Some of them just going to have to get it. But we got to be careful about making these broad generalizations, fam, because that ain't fair to all of these kids out here that are getting it, that are trying, that are working on their little businesses and stuff. Not little businesses, but their businesses. I've seen kids as young as 5 years old, of course, with the help of their parents, starting businesses. Some little kid be 5, 8, 9 years old. They're reading on a 12th grade level. They 6 years old, reading on a 12th grade level. Kids 10 years old in college. Every day we see you know, not every day, but every few months, we see a whole graduating class of students from several schools, graduating high school, graduating college. Those kids are trying. Those are literally thousands and thousands of kids every single year. I go to graduations twice in the spring and in the summer. I mean in the fall. I go to graduations in the spring and fall, and every time I go, there's thousands, or at least, or hundreds, or maybe 1,000 kids from each school, from several schools, that one class going in and taking care of their business and going through the whole ceremony. As soon as they leave, another class come in. That's thousands of kids a day graduating, getting out there, trying to better themselves. So we gonna act like we don't see all those kids out there that's trying? We just gonna put them in the same category with all these crash dummies? That ain't right, man. That ain't cool. Family, I agree with y'all. What's up, China? I agree with y'all that a lot of these youngsters, they are crash dummies. They are unfortunately, gonna have to learn the hard way. But that is not the majority. Those crash dummies are the minority. It just seems that it's more of them out there crashing out and acting a damn fool because you know the trash blow to the top. We click on the salacious stories quicker than we click on the stories about kids starting their own business or graduating with honors and looking out for each other, doing incredible things. Those stories are not the stories that quickly get hundreds of thousands or millions of views. They got a few channels like that online. They just devoted strictly to positive news. And some of those channels have 1 million plus subs or followers or whatever. But the channels with the salacious stuff outnumber those so-called positive channels probably 1,000 to 1, probably 10,000 to 1. When y'all say that the youngsters, when y'all say bad things about the youngsters and y'all just generalize, you don't point out the specific type of youngster, it's the same type of effect that somebody have when they jump online and they say all black women or they just say they ain't gotta say all, they can just say black women, or they say black men. Black man ain't this, black man ain't that. Black woman ain't this, black woman ain't that. You put everybody in the same pot. Now, how does that make you feel if you are of the opposite gender and somebody's talking down on you, talking down on the entire gender of your race? How does that make you feel? But y'all do it, you quick to do it to the youngsters. Not cool. I was online. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, whatever night that was, when um, Jess Hilarious. So 2 nights ago, when Jess Hilarious got online and she was going in on the Breakfast Club. Uh, so I get online the next day, and I'm saying to myself, I'm saying, yeah. Uh, well, actually, when I saw her doing it, I was like, yeah, the Breakfast Club gonna be lit tomorrow because I know we love that negativity, boy. I know we love it. So we're gonna eat it up, right? So without now, I'm a avid a watcher of the Breakfast Club YouTube channel. I watch it all the time. But I just happened to be on YouTube on my channel doing something, and I saw the video of one of the video clips of Just Hilarious in the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne and Envy. I saw like a clip, and within 2 hours, that clip had 180,000 views just in 2 hours. Typically, a Breakfast Club clip might have, maybe in 2 hours, typically it might have 10,000 views, typically. Maybe even 20,000 views, right? Typically. But that thing had 180,000 views in 2 hours. And it just, confirmed what I already knew. It's more people that like the BS, that like the drama, that like the salaciousness, than than we want to admit. Than they want to admit. I will say this, fam, and I'm gonna let y'all go. The streets are undefeated. Billions and billions and billions of people have ran the streets. And it didn't matter if they got out early or late. The streets still won because the streets took something from you. Even if it was only your peace. The streets take something from you. Even when you make it out, the streets gonna collect something from you. Whether it's some blood, whether it's your time, whether it's a leg, an arm, your mind, the streets gonna collect before you leave. Before you leave the streets gonna collect. It might take your family, but the streets gonna collect. You ain't getting out the streets unscathed. You jump out there, you gonna get got some kind of way. The sooner you get out, the better your odds. The better your odds. The sooner you get out, the better your odds. Perhaps, you know, the damage can be mitigated, but the streets gonna collect something. So Yella Beezy is the latest rapper to be arrested on murder charges. He was arrested today. He's being held in a jail cell in Texas. Mo3's mother spoke on it. She said, "Justice for my baby." Let's see, said the blind man. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.